course, you need to get your minerals and vitamins checked. It's important to see where you stand with your stores. You need to assess your level of intoxication. So nowadays, of course, we have tools like oligoscan. Some of you already had the opportunity to have it. But before, when we didn't have the oligoscan, we had to assess it through many questions, understanding the symptoms, looking at signs in the eyes, on the hands, on the nails, on the hair. But nowadays, the technology makes it easier for us. So I would say it's quite accurate. When we are coming with the diagnosis, we are usually accurate. Of course, you need to have a body composition analysis as well. You need to understand, okay, I don't have cholesterol, I have my minerals and vitamins, they are almost okay, I just need to add this and that. My level of intoxication is quite good, I have a healthy lifestyle, I eat clean, but what about my body composition analysis? And now if I see that I have very little muscle and a big percentage of fat, it means that I need to take some action, I need to exercise more to be able to increase the volume of my lean mass of the muscles. Because the ratio between the lean mass, the muscles, and the fat is also going to give us an indication of the risk of diseases. So if you have very little muscle and a lot of fat, you will have the tendency to have high inflammation, you'll have the tendency to have food intolerances, rashes on the skin. So it's important to have a good ratio and to balance it properly. And of course, all of these results you have to be a bit organized and keep it at home to keep track of your progress. So when you're going to see back your doctor, you can compare. Okay, last year I was here, this year I'm there. What did I do well last year? What did I miss? What should I do to improve? So, how to approach healing? So let's say you have, there's a symptom appearing, and this is new. So first of all, you need to assess yourself about your well-being. Are you stressed these times? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you depressed? Your functions. Do you cough? Is it painful when you pass urine? Do you go to the restroom regularly? Is there any unusual sign, like do you have some rash? Are you losing your hair? The nails are maybe breaking. So you have to assess all of that, and you have to understand what are the changes, what changed with this symptom. This symptom came after or within some changes, or did some change happen after? All of that you have to take note and put on a paper. Is there any newness? Is there something that is unusual that is happening? For example, oh, usually I like eating tomato, but these days I feel nauseous when I'm eating it. Or, oh, these days I'm not sleeping as well as before, and this is happening with this new symptom. So actually, as I said many times, in natural medicine we believe in balance. We want to keep the body balanced. And the balance for one is not the same as the balance for another one. So we have to keep it in mind. We don't have to fit everyone in a mold. Each of us are different, and the balance for each individual is different. So we have now to try to understand which element is creating an imbalance. We have to nail it down and really identify it. And once we identified it, maybe I'll say, oh, it's true that these days I'm not drinking too much, I've not eaten too clean, I've not slept that well, I'll try to restore the balance by myself. I'm going to drink a little bit more. I'm going to be more consistent on my sleep. And I will see what is happening. And then I will do again the same assessment. So, again, this is, I'm just going a little deeper in the subject. How do I feel? How do I eat? Do I eat clean? Do I drink enough water? Which organ is affected? It's difficult when you're not a part of the medical field, but sometimes you can say, okay, my nose is running, so most probably it has something to do with the upper part of the respiratory tract. Or it's the nails, or the hair, or the skin. Is the problem constant, or is it growing crescendo, or is it coming and going? So all of this information are very important for the doctor. And if the problem is not constant, if it comes and goes, I have a pain on my belly and it comes and goes, or sometimes it's like, I have this pain for 2 weeks and it's getting worse and worse every day. So these are two different things. So if it's not constant, can we link the problem to something? Like every time I exercise, I have that pain. Okay. And which habit or situation triggers it or worsens it? Or every time I lay down on my bed, my nose is blocked, for example. So most probably this means there are some allergies. Maybe to dust mites, and they just need to clean the mattress and the pillow. So what else can we do? So of course, all of these is your own assessment you can do. And of course, I will also always recommend you to visit a doctor if the symptoms are staying there for 3-4 days, 1 week. Yeah, it's time to go and see a doctor. If it's an acute pain, there's no need to start assessing yourself, just go to the emergency room and take care of it. But what other things can we do to make sure we stay clean? Try to get a detox every 3 months. You can do this by IV drips, juicing, water fasting. There are so many ways to get your detox done. Again, I insist maintaining good levels of vitamins and minerals. It's so difficult today to have good levels because of our lifestyle and the type of food we are eating. So in this particular country, I would say check and renew your levels of vitamin D in particular. Most of the people here are lacking vitamin D.
Well, what's the reason, Doctor? Even like in it's the same thing. Although we have the sun, I always have deficiency.
So vitamin D, you need to know that it's a vitamin that is used so often, and it's used in many things. So let's say today you have good levels of vitamin D, and in about a month, you go back to your doctor, or 2 months, and the doctor is telling you, oh, you are deficient. And you're like, that's not possible. 2 months ago I was good. But actually vitamin D, you use it for daily in your detox processes. The liver is using a huge quantity of vitamin D, and this is not known. So when you're going through a detox, you're going to use a lot of vitamin D. Vitamin D is of course used for your skin, for your body, for your immune system, for your gut, but also for all the detox processes. So why do we have low levels of vitamin D, especially here? Is unfortunately because we are living in a desert, and most of the food is imported, and it's harvested when it's not mature enough.
I mean, the sun is not enough. Usually you get it mainly from the sun. That's what I...
No, actually, you have to get it from the food as well. The sun is not enough. And this is why it's called a vitamin. A vitamin, by definition, is an element that we are not able to produce by ourselves. It's an element we depend on from external sources. And vitamin D, although we produce some, is still called vitamin D because if we didn't have any vitamin D in our food, we wouldn't be able to have enough vitamin D. So we produce some vitamin D, but the levels, the capacity of our body to produce vitamin D is very, the amount we are able to produce is very small compared to the amount we need. So even here, and by the way here, you can't stay under the sun too long because the sun is so harsh that you have to stay away. So even if the sun is like stronger here, the sun exposure here in the UAE for a lot of people is less than it would be in Europe or other places because we are staying away. So this is why.
So the vitamin D, so we can get it, but with a really small amount in the sun, and then in food.
Yes.
But which food?
We depend on the food. So it's mainly in the eggs, the milk, the meat, and for vegetarians, vegan people will also find in many vegetables, lentils, all the pulses, lentils, chickpeas, beans. You find it also in cruciferous like cabbage, salad, all of these. You find it in many places, but the main source is mainly from animals because animals have a tendency to concentrate it. They concentrate. So this is why you have higher concentration in animal products.
So basically when so it's better to just take supplements.
Exactly.
Because to have vitamin D in the food, since the intake also is so spread out and so little, only with the food it's not enough.
Exactly here. But if you're living in a country where they grow their own vegetables, out and
But if you eat only organic?
Yeah. In other countries, yes, but here it won't work because still we have the same problem. Organic food means there's no pesticides and there's no GMOs.
Yeah.
This is what it means. It doesn't mean that it has been harvested when it was nurtured. But if you are in a country where you're like, let's say I'm living in Belgium and I go to the next farm and I go buy my vegetables there, most probably I'll have my good levels of vitamin D. Especially if I eat clean all the time. It depends also on your lifestyle. If you eat clean all the time, you're not going to use your vitamin D stores to clean yourself. Okay, so these vitamin D stores will remain.
Are all supplements basically equal, or are there some that work and some that don't?
Sorry?
For vitamin D, are all supplements basically equal, or do you need to buy a certain brand and then brands
No,
are
I think it's equal,
Okay.
really.
It's
The
easy-
most
easy.
important is to try to have it on an empty stomach and not to eat after swallowing the capsule for 20 minutes, just to allow vitamin D to be absorbed. Because
On the empty or not empty?
empty.
Empty stomach.
Empty stomach. Because vitamin D is a fat, and when we are eating, whatever we are eating, there's some little fat. And then it will be in competition with the other fats, and so you will absorb less.
And most of the vitamin is better to take it when you don't eat.
No, most of the vitamins are the contrary, because they are a bit heavy, and usually in a normal situation, we are supposed to absorb those vitamins when we are eating actually, because it's part of the food. So most of the vitamins is with food. But vitamin D especially, I recommend to take it on an empty stomach. Not that you're not going to absorb, but to absorb as much as possible, like the maximum. But for example,
all vitamins should be taken this way.
no. So as I said, most of the vitamins you have to take it with food. Most of them. For example, if you take vitamin C is ascorbic acid, it's pure acid. If you take it on an empty stomach, you're swallowing an acid, and then you're going to create an irritation of your stomach.
Yes.
So you need some food with it. Okay. Same thing for the minerals, calcium, zinc, magnesium. All of these, you will feel nauseous because it's a bit heavy,
Yeah.
and you need some food with it to also allow the exchange. Minerals are It's like a trade happening in your
Yeah.
digestive system. I take zinc and I give you calcium. I take this and I give you that. But you need other elements to be able for the trade to happen. And sometimes some minerals are absorbed together. Now, if I have less than 100 that day and I'm not eating anything with vitamin A, I'm going to use what I receive, but I also go to dig in my stores to balance, because I need this minimum amount for my functions.
Okay.
Okay, so this is something very important to do. So if you're not too sure, the best is look at the brands, look at the website, go on the website of a particular brand, and they will tell you how is it extracted, where they harvest. They're usually
Yes.
proud to tell you we have farms here and we have land there. And go on the website because on the bottle it's not always mentioned.
Yeah.
And then when you are buying supplements, make sure that you have this percentage. So for example, you can see that with this complex, I'll have a lot of vitamin A, vitamin C, thiamine, I'll have 6,250, so I can really get a lot of stores, a lot of balance my stores very, very well. Riboflavin as well, 5,000. Niacin, all of these are B group vitamins, B6, 4,000. So this complex seems to be quite strong in the B group vitamins. And then you can see, for example, there are other things like calcium, only 20 milligrams, you only have 2% of the daily value. So you know that if you have a deficiency in calcium, and you're taking this to balance your deficiency, it will never work because you have only 2%. So it depends also what is the use, what you're trying to do. Now if you know that, anyways, I'm eating a lot of grains, I'm quite sure my levels of calcium are good, then you don't need to have more calcium. For example, some people are saying, yeah, vitamin D, if you don't find it in liquid, don't take it. No, there are some brands that are having vitamin D in powder, it works very well. It depends also on the excipients. What we call excipients is the little elements that the company is going to add with the main product for it to be absorbed. And it depends how healthy your nose, because some of them are in nasal spray, your nose, your mouth, or your digestive system is. If you have a highly inflammatory digestive system, whatever the quality of the vitamins, it's not about the vitamins you're swallowing, it's about what is the capacity of your gut to absorb it. If you have high inflammation there and the gut is not able to absorb, there's nothing we can do about it. So then you need to take other actions. You need to take food supplements to cool down the inflammation first. You need to clean the digestive system. You need maybe some vitamin drips to bypass it and to load the body with vitamins that are going to heal your digestive system. And then once the digestive system is healed, then you are able to absorb it.
And to clean the digestive system, we need to do detox.
The best is to do detox, to let, if you have like 3-4 days detox minimum,
What, juicing or?
It can be juicing, it can be water fasting. I prefer juicing, obviously, because you are going to be loaded in vitamins. If you are already lacking vitamins and you go for water juicing, well, for all these days, you are going to continue digging in your stores.
Yeah.
Okay? So this is why I prefer juicing, usually. But again, I'm not saying that people doing water fasting are wrong, but this is my approach. And juicing is good because it acts as if a little bit like a soap. It's going to wash inside your digestive system. And we have sometimes a build-up on the inner side of the gut. And this build-up is going to be removed by these juices, by all these vitamins and all these elements, the little fibers you also find in the juices. So this is going to be cleaned, and if you don't stimulate it with some other type of food like potatoes, meat, and bread and things rich in gluten, then you're allowing this little layer to go, and once it's naked for the digestive system to heal. And once it has healed, now it's competent to make the trade.
So now it can absorb.
And now it's going to absorb that. The more it absorbs, the better it is, and the more it absorbs. Well, for some people who are highly inflammatory, I still recommend to have a colon cleansing. By the way, we didn't introduce that service yet here in Zoya, but we are planning to do this in the future. For now, we are doing the cleansing only with water, but you also have specific cleansing with coffee enema, coffee enema, wheatgrass, Himalayan salts, and these are a little bit more efficient, but also a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
So you need to know with which kind of person you can apply it. And by the way, the coffee enema, it's without caffeine, and you don't absorb any caffeine, because I usually have that question. And Himalayan salt is not going to increase the level of sodium in your body. When you have a lot of inflammation, it's good to clean, because the buildup is so important that you have to be on juicing maybe for 1 month to really clean it. We have 2 machines. One machine is low pressure. The other machine that we didn't introduce in the services yet, but is going to be introduced soon, is a high pressure. So the high pressure definitely goes to the end of the colon. Okay. The low pressure can go to the end of the colon, but it depends on the skills of the person receiving it. So when we are doing this angel of water, the person gets the water inside and should squeeze and hold the water inside until the pressure comes in the belly, and then there's some pain with the pressure, and then releasing it. The problem is sometimes some people, they have it, but they stay open. So it will clean only the left part of the colon. It won't go the whole way. There are some kind of antioxidants you find in the coffee that are going to help reducing inflammation. Other kind of antioxidants in wheat grass, and also in Himalayan salt. We are working with osmolarity. It's going to suck the water inside your colon, from your digestive cells to the colon, not the other way.
The salt.
So by doing that, it's going to help removing this coating. And then at the same time, it provides some minerals like zinc, like copper. And copper, by the way, is also very important for this cement between the cells.
So you think the salt's even better than the coffee?
It's not about this is better than the other one. It really needs to be applied to different cases.
Oh, I see.
If I have someone with a highly inflammatory gut, and sometimes even some blood coming out, I will definitely not apply Himalayan salt enema. This person is going to scream. It's going to be just too aggressive. And most probably the days after enema, this person is going to lose blood, and I don't